how does one prepare for a layoff? Especially, people who are already working, but they have this thinking that, okay, my job is safe. My last rating was pretty good. My manager is happy. And they're actually thinking like that. And suddenly it happens to them. Uh, what would be your advice to professionals who are working? That's question number one. How should be they preparing for a layoff, Pramod?
Thank you, Ravi. That's a great question. I myself have been affected by that in my career more than once,
Right.
maybe twice. Okay, so it hits home very personally.
Yeah.
The first thing is, if you are a chronic learner, as I mentioned before,
Yeah.
you don't get really affected by these ups and downs.
Right.
Layoff may be a down, but that's just a blip on your learning journey. In fact, it does not affect your learning journey.
Right.
Your learning journey should be strong, irrespective of what you're doing.
Right.
There are sites and there's so many pundits who predict these are the skills required in the future. Stay very close to that. It's all available.
Right.
So learn those skills. See what is it that it should be the intersection of three circles.
Right.
Like what is required in the world in the future, and what am I good at?
Right.
Then what is available easily for me to learn? At the center of these three circles is a sweet spot. That should be what you should be continuously learning.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Satya Nadella just recently mentioned this in an interview with Bloomberg. He said, we've come a long way from those days when we were trying to learn how computers work. And now computers are learning how humans work, how humans think.
Yeah.
So that is the clue.
Right.
So, you improve your thinking, you improve your knowledge depth, you let the synapses in your brain fire into new combinations of learning and cross-disciplinary knowledge.
Right.
And computers will be eager to know how you are thinking. So you be at the front of the learning curve. You be at the forefront of the learning curve. Don't give up. Jobs will come and go, but your learning journey will progress steadily upward.
Yeah.
And that's what you should focus on as a learning professional.
Right.
And not just because I'm also a HR professional. This will really stand you in good stead in the long run.
Great, Pramod.
So when it comes to layoffs, the word that you say should no more be a taboo. It is norm today, right? Businesses scale up and downsize, depending on how the business shapes up.
Yeah.
But if you have the talent, if you are really talented, I'm sure there is no dearth of opportunities for you, right? Number two, if you are not deeply passionate about the skill on which you work with, or right? If money is your motive, there are multiple ways and means through which you can make money always, right?
Right. Yeah.
You have seen the mushrooming growth of the street side vendors selling food in and around the high-tech city.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure each one of the street vendor makes more money than what you and I make.
Absolutely. I'll give you one quick example now that you remind me. When I pick up Kusum after school, right, I wrote this in a LinkedIn post. You can see that. There's this guy called Vittal.
That's a Golgappa vendor.
Correct. He's making 3 lakhs when he's in full profit zone, and 1.5 lakhs when is not so profitable according to him. And when I heard that, I just crashed.
And not even a penny taxable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a lot of, I think, to make money, right? I mean, any which ways we need to make money. I think
a friend of mine who is in the recruitment space, he told me 2 things: either you work for love or you work for passion.
Right.
Money. Either you work for passion or you work for money.
Absolutely.
Right? Decide what you are working for. If money matters, you can make money anyway.
Absolutely.
If passion matters, master the art of what you're working on, there is no dearth of opportunity for you.
Absolutely. Point taken, Praveen.
Having worked in the transformation side of business, while I was emphasizing on change management, layoff, or any kind of an organizational change, organizational restructuring, right sizing, etc., are also part of change management.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So in that context, the way I prepare myself or I prepare my team is very different, in the sense that when I look at team structuring as well, I would like to keep it optimal. I always encourage my team to, hey, if you need to look at your resourcing, do not overstaff. And use to an optimal utilization of your resources.
Yeah.
The reason why I say this is, when you overstaff, you have a situation where you need to do a right sizing.
Yeah.
You don't want your people to be impacted.
Absolutely.
So in that context, planning itself upfront is very important. I believe in ethical planning of resourcing as well.
Absolutely.
So in that context, the impact to the people whom you are hiring is relatively limited.
Absolutely.
So going back to what I said in the beginning, it's all about change management.
Absolutely.
Okay. As a leader, it is important for you to think from a team perspective.
Yeah.
Right? How can you facilitate this process? How can you support your team to manage their next part of the journey?
Yeah.
Facilitate the journey. The reason why I say this is, it's very important to facilitate the journey. So in that context, whether it happens or not, I always encourage my team to do something outside of their comfort zone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even on the day-to-day projects that they do, I would encourage them to do things outside of their comfort zone, so that there is a continuous learning and a training process. They should not they should feel comfortable if there is a change comes in, and then they should be able to pick up something new.
Absolutely.
I believe this is very important.
I think great.
That's how I look at it, Ravi.
Great trip, Suresh. I think wonderful leader. Because what I've seen, and we've spoken on this before, is that once an employee comes out because of a layoff, there's a lot of churn which happens within, and they tend to be pretty bitter with respect to the corporate which they have worked. And for example, people might have worked for 5, 10, 15 years at a corporate, and suddenly it happens out of the blue. They tend to be pretty negative about the corporate as such. And I think I heard you actually giving a different perspective and that's something which I want you to talk about.
See again, I mean, let's be fair to the organization, right? Yeah. When I get a better opportunity, I also move from the current organization where I have worked for 5, 10 years into the newer organization, because I see a growth and opportunity for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in that context, if I apply the same logic from an organizational point of view, what the organization does is for the broader, bigger goal, where the organization is accountable for.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in that context, please take the change. Change is eventual, and this change will happen. Right. So take the change and be prepared for the change.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So and in my view, I do not just look at it from my own perspective. I look at this from my team's perspective as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I mean, that's how I manage this part of the change, Ravi.
Yeah, that helps a lot, Suresh.